Hello everyone and welcome back. Today's video is about a feature that I've been dying to try for a long time and I finally got around to it. It's a 2007 blog post from Oliver Stone and it's quite interesting. Before we move forward, I have to say that they actually put a big disclaimer that it will affect performance on your database server, but again, test it at your own risk and I believe that for at least for small applications, it works really neat. The idea here is sometimes we have a SAF application where we already have in our customer hands and we don't want to redeploy, so we would like to have some external process like the buzzword that we have now that everybody's talking about, like microservice. Like it's just a small functionality that you don't want embedded in your system. That way you can deploy in your own terms without having to redeploy your whole application. So here it will be when there is a change in the database, just notify me, and that way I will do anything. So the SQL dependency is a feature of SQL Server that has been around for a little bit. You can read more about here. That is ideal for scenarios when you are already catching all your operations and you need to get a notification when something on the database happens. The example that Oliver Stone provide is quite quite interesting actually. Let's take a look at the code directly so we can see what's going on. If we see here in our first test, we have our data cache node and data cache root where we pass our connection string, and we actually are doing a cache of the database. So if we come down here, we see that we update our schema from type person because that's the only class that we have. It's a simple class, just one field name, and then we actually create a unit of work, create a collection of person, and display that on the console. So let's run it first. Let's see what happens. If you see, it's the displaying just one person, Jose, because that's the only record that I had on the database here. But okay, but what happens if we add a new record, or if we actually modify one record while the application is running? Yes. Okay, I need to do a query. It will be insert into person name value I believe is single Javier. Let's run it. Okay, good. So if we see here now, we refresh. All right, it's right there. And we go to our console application, but we don't see it because it's not aware that some change happened in the database. So if the change doesn't happen through the unit of work, our application won't see it. So how do we fix this? Let's take a look now at a variation of this. So if we comment this out, uncomment this out, and comment, let's comment this part. So right here there is a new method, get connection string 2005 with cache. So this one already come with the SQL notification built in place. So let's run it. Nice, this is working. So let's add a new one now. Yeah, that's my sister. We run it, we come here, we see it, and it's in our application. So that's really neat to have because our application is using our cache features of XPO, but it's also getting notification from the database when there is any change. So, okay, no, here. So that's the purpose of this blog post. That's what it covers. This one that we were seeing before. But there is a second one where we actually can get some events like on table change, and that will allow us to know exactly what would change. So let's see it. Let's see it quickly here. And again, we have another solution here to seeing that. There is a new class data store change tracking grabber. I think Oliver Store has the same, I will say, habit of my friend Hoche. They put some really long, too descriptive names, but it's not actually too user friendly. Now, if we check here, there is a everything change and on tables change. So everything change. If we take a look here at process changes method, we actually have this update table edges equal null. That's when on everything change. And if the table's edges length is bigger than 0, then we call it on table change. So what is that table edge? If we go and check the definition, this is an array of table edges that is actually information of the age of the table that are cached via the data cache root object. So again, if it's like if we are redoing the whole cache, we call the on everything change. If not, we just call the change that happened. Either way, let's run this so we see what's going on. So same thing as before, we have our records here. So now if we go to the database, and actually let's put a breakpoint before that, and another one here, and let's actually just modify, and we set this here. We hit our breakpoint, so we are actually getting a notification of that of the table being changed. And if we continue and we do a little reflection magic here, we can even check here our rows coming over, and then here we have year before. So that's working. So right here then we have information to do any crazy thing that we need. We can send an email, we can run an actual function, we can do anything that we need. It's not tied to our application. It's a separate process running outside of our main app, not redeploying, not everything. So I think that that's really neat, especially because we are doing everything through XPO. We can definitely do this outside of XPO. We can use SqlDependency from Microsoft. We can use triggers. We can use any other technology out there, but our love is for XPO. So it's really neat that we can do this through it. So before we go, I wanna also point out again, this is another ticket when they say actually that they have found some performance issue when using this method. So I do believe that for a small application this will work great. For more bigger one, I never have tested, so I'm just going through what the tickets say, but use it at your own risk. Thank you for sticking with me till the end of the video, and see you next time.